Welcome, folks. Fred Gleek here again with Bill DeWeese for another episode of Things DeWeesian. Bill, how was your week?
All things, it was a very Dewisian kind of week.
Well, that's good.
Which, yeah, it was good. Well, first of all, last week I saw some progress, made it to $3,800 for the week. This week I'm wrapping up at 4,200, and I'm not even done yet. I still have work to do once we wrap up our podcast this afternoon. So things are, looking up very good. Monday, I did a project for a company called Red Fence. They do agricultural fencing. It was a corporate presentation. I did a safety video for Lake Geneva uh, here in the Illinois area, northern Illinois. Hewlett Packard Enterprise did a project for them. New Mexico PBS worked for them, and then I did my monthly market report for a financial firm.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Um, it's all about, I think, let's go back for a second. It's all about really making sure that you have you had your idea on this, it used to be $5,000 a week,
Yeah.
then you moved it up to $6,000 a
Right.
week. And people should understand that in order to sometimes move forward, you have to take a little bit of a step back. And so the reason why, first off, you had the Black Tuesday, and when you have those kinds of things happen, it's the reason why things have dropped down is what? Just so that people that are watching and listening can understand the reason for the drop, even though we've discussed it
hmm
before.
Because I've eliminated my lower paying clients, which accounts for about half of the projects I was doing. Not half the money, but half
Okay.
the projects, which frees up more time for me to get more dollars per project. What was left was clients, some of which are regular, but a lot of which are clients that aren't regular and I have to audition for. So these are clients that are actually harder to get work for, but they net me more per job. And so that's when I'm in the process of building. Sometimes you have to prune the fruit tree. If you want more fruit, you got to prune the tree back before it'll grow more fruit.
Right. And so you weren't surprised by this happening, were you?
Oh no, well no, I didn't expect to. I didn't expect to snap my fingers and the next week be making 6,000 a week. No, absolutely not. This was a basically a 1 year plan.
Got it. So in other words, by like pruning the fig tree or whatever we're pruning here, what it is you're cutting out those clients that really aren't bringing in a lot of high dollars but take a lot of time.
Yes.
And so it's going to take a little bit more time to replace those over time with higher paying clients.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly it.
Right. So again, this is a strategic business decision, and many people listening to the podcast may be just getting started. Some people are intermediate, some people are advanced. But I think that the philosophy makes a lot of sense because I really think that this business, as far as especially me as an outsider looking at it from the outside in as a business person primarily, is that I see the idea and I differentiate. I look at you and I look at Dave Vinoy, I look at some other people, and I'm noticing how they're different models.
hmm
But the one model that always holds true is how can you generate the most number of dollars per hour? And that's what you're trying to do is you're trying to move up your dollars per hour. Your total dollars may have gone down, but I'll bet in this last move here that your dollars per hour has moved up, although there are a
It
lot of hours
has.
missing, correct?
Because yes, interestingly, I'm actually not spending as many hours doing voiceover because we're working a lot of voiceover training stuff, which is very important part of what I do. But yeah, I actually I've been working fewer hours compared to last year.
Got it. Okay, so that's very clear. So now
Yeah.
let's go from Monday to Tuesday and talk about more specifics. What happened on Tuesday?
Spent a lot of time I'm working on a big textbook right now that's due later this month. It's a sociology textbook. It's a page turner. So I'm very busy with that. Also, I recorded a commercial for a company called Lancia Homes in northwestern Ohio, and then I did some pickups for a previous client. So that was all that I had Tuesday.
Got it. And the Lancia homes, obviously part of the compensation was a free home, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course. A free home with every commercial.
Well, everybody should know that if you're in the voiceover business, sometimes you do get some wonderful perks. So Bill will have now a full house that he's going to have renters in.
Wednesday, I spent all day working on the textbook. I mean, that's all I did all day Wednesday. That was, I tell you, well, I don't want to go too much into this, but I won't be doing any more textbooks in the near future. It's just not making me that much money.
I think really what you're saying is you won't be doing any more textbooks ever.
Yes, I was putting it very lightly, but I think you're exactly right. That expresses really my true feelings deep down inside.
Okay, Mike.
Thursday, I started my day in an interesting way. I actually had to make the commute into downtown Chicago with so many thousands of others. And that was just a reminder. I never want to have to do that for a living. I don't care what type of work I'm
Yeah,
doing.
I know. So now let's take a look at what happened there. You got up. You said at 6. You were on the road at 7, correct?
Yes.
You got to the client's office at what time after you parked?
By the time I parked and got in, it was about 20 till 9.
Okay, so now you've spent an hour and 40 minutes going door to door to this client. You now worked in the studio for how long?
No more than 30 minutes.
Okay, so you did 30 minutes and you were back home at what time?
Another, well, I took my son and daughter were with me, so I took them out for breakfast afterwards. So if you cut that out, add another hour to it. So, between 10:30 and 11 would have been the time had I not stopped for breakfast.
Got it. So now we're looking at 2 hours and 45 minutes for $600, as I recall you got,
Yeah,
right?
right. It was a $600 spot. Yeah.
Okay, so now and so still it's still a good hourly rate, but the aggravation of having to drive in Chicago traffic, especially on the inbound commute, is something you nor I would want to do.
No, and I do that once every, I don't know how many years. And it was because the client insisted on using ISDN. I have Source Connect and I can bridge to ISDN, but not everybody trusts it. And this client did not trust it. They were afraid that we might have technical glitches and they only had blocked out an hour of time for me. So anyhow,
Whatever. So, but you still got a pretty high hourly rate, but it's not
yeah,
something that you would really go chasing after.
no.
It's after you, fine.
No, exactly. And that came through I have an agent in Kansas City. I didn't even audition for that. So that was kind of cool.
Oh, so you didn't have to audition. Explain
No.
what, because people might be curious.
I mean, you know what that means? Or,
Well, I mean, in other words, they heard your demo and they said, book them.
yes, exactly. They heard my demo and they told the agent, we'd like to have this guy do the script, which rarely happens.
Do you
Usually,
know? Do you know how many people the agent put in front of them?
I have no idea.
But we know that you got selected.
But I got selected, so yeah, it was all good. So that was it was fun, and I posted a little video. We did a live video from the recording studio on my Facebook fan page, the Bill Dewey's voiceover, and it's still there. So if you check it out, little insight there.
Now, and then when you got back, as I understand, because I remember I talked to you, Thursday, there was still plenty of work when you came back.
Yeah, I did some work. I did a bunch of on hold work, including for Pizza Hut. I did a corporate project for a company called Atlas Copco, and I did another corporate project. The company is called Free Data. I don't remember what it's about, but it's some sort of IT thing.
Okay. And so that was a fairly big day in terms of total revenue, I guess.
Yeah, that was. I think we made $1,000 yesterday, all told.
Cool, cool, cool. And then it's today now.
Today.
And what? Tell me about it.
I started off my day with a brand new client that they heard me through, I think it was voice123.com, and they contacted me directly.
Okay.
And I did not have to audition once again, which was, again, unusual, although it happened a couple times this week.
Yeah.
And it was for a tag for a TV commercial something in San Bernardino, California. It's for some sort of, it's like a home where, the elderly go.
Got it.
And so I do it was literally it's a tag. It's probably less than 10 seconds at the end. And it paid $500. So that was pretty cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So that was easy peasy. Did that this morning, and then I've been recording. I recorded more. I have another chapter to record today for this textbook. Working on that right now, and I'm also in the middle of a really big a driver safety learning project for a client. So that's doing that too.
Let's talk a little bit about that textbook project in context for the people who are not in your position. Many people listening to the podcast or watching this on YouTube would be salivating to get a job like that.
Yeah.
And if you were first starting out in your career and had plenty of time to do it, you would take a job like that, right?
Oh yes, and I did. I have. Anytime you can get a book reading, audiobook type reading job, be it textbook or otherwise, and somebody is guaranteeing you a decent rate, and by decent I mean anything from $25 an hour and over. I consider decent if you're trying to get launched. I think you should do it. I had a thought there. I lost what it was,
So
but
now the change of heart is because you've now gotten past that, and now it by doing those kinds of jobs, it basically is reducing your hourly rate rather than.
yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, when you're trying to, when you're first getting started, you want to fill your day. You need to be making money, some dollars per hour, any dollars per hour. And with audiobooks, as most of you guys know who do this, the only thing that's being offered right now, or mostly what's being offered, are royalty shares, which end up being basically, your share of nothing is not a whole lot. That's an
Yeah,
exaggeration, but you get the idea.
yeah, 100% of zero is still
It's
zero.
still zero. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if somebody says, I'll give you a couple $1,000 to record this textbook, then you think, yeah, sure, why not?
I remember from the disco era, nothing from nothing leaves
Leaves
nothing.
nothing.
And so here's my question then. So again, because a lot of people that we know are playing around with Fiverr, it sort of then makes sense because if you have, let's say, 40 hours to do voiceover work, and you've got 10 of those hours filled with other stuff, it makes sense to fill those hours in with virtually anything that can produce revenue, correct?
That's my philosophy. Yes,
It
indeed.
would make sense to me because I mean, if you've designated 40 hours as time that you're going to do voiceover work, and if you can, if the choice is between making 30 or $40 an hour, which many Fiverr jobs do pay, if the choice is that versus nothing, then you obviously choose the something.
I would think so. It only makes sense to me.
From a business standpoint, it certainly does.
Yeah.
Now, again, given the fact that, and I'm curious to see this. I think there is talk that that there will be some people experimenting with kind of higher prices and seeing whether Fiverr is a viable alternative to get that kind of work. Because I think it's interesting because everything is about dollars per hour, and it's just and if you have time in your schedule, it's like the best analogy I can give I think is with an airline. There are certain, if you've got a plane that's leaving in 2 hours and you've got, 50 spots available, you'll almost fill them for virtually any amount of dollars because
Right.
you need the revenue, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And I think the same thing is true with the voiceover business. If you've got 40 hours devoted to voiceovers and you've got only 10 hours filled this week, well, then fill them with anything, even if it's $5, $10, 10, $15, because you can use it almost as training work for yourself, right?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's the way I built my business.
Yeah, and I think, and again, the sort of analogizing it to what you used back then was more Craigslist, right?
I did a lot of Craigslist. A lot of
Well, there you
Craigslist.
have it. Any other final thoughts, given the fact I've been yakking here?
No, the only other thing I wanted to mention was that in case you're wondering, well, what did I do differently this week that I'm making more money this week than a couple weeks ago? And the answer to that is absolutely nothing. Um, if you've got a good plan, sometimes you just keep doing the plan. And Fred, you talk a lot about poker, and I forget the term that you use, but
Variance.
variance. Yes, the variant. There's going to be variance, and it all comes out in the wash. So you just keep moving forward, doing what you know is good.
And there you have it. Bill DeWeese for his weekly roundup. Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Fred.